Hi everybody, how is it going today? So today is Friday, November 10th, and I wanted to keep the mood pretty serious, okay guys, because I wanted to go over Ripple today. It's really important that we keep the moods very, very light today because Ripple is a very sensitive topic, okay? And I actually want to read you guys a poem that I wrote for Ripple, okay? So we're gonna pretend it's Friday night, poetry gathering night, and we're all gathered in a room where the lights are very dim, okay? People are sitting there with their glasses of wine, ready to share their thoughts and their feelings, okay, guys? And I am gonna read you guys a poem that I personally wrote for Ripple. Are you guys ready to hear it? Okay, now if you guys haven't dimmed your lights yet and lit some romance candles for yourself or have a glass of wine, maybe pause this video, go grab a bottle of wine and maybe even a box of tissues because by the time I'm done, you might need a box of tissue. So here we go, guys. This is a poem for Ripple by Philicon. Here we go, guys. Have to clear my throat for this. Ready? So once again, a poem by Philicon for Ripple. Oh, Ripple, during the swell conference, we all thought you were going to triple, but you ended up just a cripple, like a third nipple. Now it's in the past, like in the days when I used to play the fiddle, and when I used to smell so bad because all I ate was dill pickle. Will she ever go up a nickel, or will she just squiggle? It's one of those coins where I'm non-committal. After swell, it tanked so bad it ended up in the hospital. It was beat so bad with a hammer and a sickle. But little by little, she sometimes gets a tickle. Somebody needs to catcall her. Give me a whistle. Come on, Ripple. You can do it. We want something to nibble. The end. Okay, now that I shared my thoughts and my feelings, let's take a look at Ripple, guys. It's okay, guys. The lights are now turned back on. Lights are turned back on. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Now sometimes it's really important to share your feelings just to get it out, because we're all human beings and we all need to get our feelings out, and we gotta talk about it sometimes. And I spent a lot of time. I was thinking of doing like a haiku, like a Japanese haiku. But I thought that this poem was a lot more appropriate for it, okay? So we're gonna look at Ripple without further ado. Thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed my poem, you can buy the ebook of it, okay, and the audio recording. I will sign it. So I'll sign the audio recording and I'll say, if your name is John, I'll say at the beginning, Dear John, and then I'll read it to you, okay, guys? So you can also buy it on Amazon as well. You can buy it on iTunes. I should probably put that on iTunes. That'd probably sell like crazy, that poem. I'd probably become like a gazillionaire by now if I could sell that poem on iTunes, right? Okay, let's look at Ripple. Hey guys, first thing we're gonna do, as always, is we always draw our support and our resistances. I'm gonna take a look at it on the daily chart. So we're gonna take a look at on the daily chart. We can see it kind of tried to break out here, right? And then we can see that it's kind of forming this really nasty ass wedge right now. It's got a lot of time for consolidation. So what we notice about Ripple is that, first of all, it's got a lot of potential. And what we notice about a lot of coins in general is that it's got a lot of potential in 2018, okay? 2017, late 2017 specifically, is the year for consolidation. Let me show you guys a bunch of things, okay? Let me show you ETP, for example. ETP is a coin that I'm going to be invested in quite a bit, right? So what we notice is that every single coin right now, it has some sort of pattern like this, okay? It has some sort of wedge pattern. Would you guys agree? A wedge or something like that. If we look at Omise Go, right? If we look at Omise Go, it's also got that similar kind of wedge pattern that's forming, okay? And at the end of the wedge, it usually breaks out. Omise Go broke out right there, okay? Let's look at Litecoin, for example, as well. What I'm trying to show you guys is the similarity index between all coins right now, okay? And what I'm trying to show you is that whenever they reach a critical point, like right here, there's a wedge forming, right? Here there was a wedge forming as well, right? And usually during these wedges at the end, because of the supply and demand balance, and because the markets in general are actually considered a very bullish market right now, they end up breaking out to the upside. It's really rare to see it after long consolidation. Not once have I seen a coin break out to the downside yet, guys. In my 2 years of cryptocurrency and trading full time, I have not seen a coin break out to the downside after a massive, massive one yet. Let's look at IOTA. That's a big coin I'm invested in right now, okay? Look at IOTA and how it's breaking out like this. Now Ripple has been around a lot longer than all of them, so that's why right now it's taking a beating, put it that way, okay guys? It's ahead and behind in terms of a lot of different conditions right now. Where is this? Can you guys show me where Bitfinex is? I cannot see it for the life. There we go. Okay. So the good thing and the bad thing about Ripple is that it's got a lot of potential, right? It's got a lot of potential, and it is the only coin that I know that is penetrating basically the mass market. That's almost a mainstream, right? They're in the fintech industry, okay guys? That's a financial technology industry, and what they aim to do is simplify payment transfers amongst businesses, okay? Not for merchants. You know, merchants, we would think of something like OmiseGo, and right now they're competing with what's the company called? They're competing with Swift right now, okay? And Swift it has a lot of fees, and it actually takes a lot of time as well, right? But with the Ripple blockchain technology, the confirmations are a lot better. It's a lot cheaper in general, and it's almost instantaneous. And they're doing things such as they have a partnership right now with the Gates Foundation. That's, you know, Bill Gates from Microsoft. So they're slowly forming partnerships. And the point of the Swell conference was to develop awareness, right? They wanted to schedule it alongside the Swift conference there, and they wanted to make a big statement to say, hey, you guys are not the only monopoly in town, right? We're going to become an oligopoly. And you know, you guys know monopoly, what that means. It means you're the only player, right? You have monopolized and you have cornered the market. And that's what Swift has done right now. But what Ripple is saying is that we're going to turn this into not just a monopoly, but an oligopoly, which means there's many, many different key players that can have a large piece of the pie in the market. And that's what Ripple aims to do by having the Swift conference the exact same dates. I think it was October 14 to 17 as the Swift conference there. And absolutely, they've made a bold statement, right? And I know that the Swell conference, it wasn't exactly as expected to a lot of people, but to me, it was exactly as expected. I bought the hype and then I sold news. Okay, guys, we always buy the hype and then we sell the news. And that happened around October, right here, you guys can tell, right? That's where it peaked up right there on October 14, as I mentioned, 14 to 17. And then it just took a nosedive, okay? It took a nosedive, and then it found support right around here, which was amazing. I just want to go into clarity though, okay guys? I want to go into clarity that here, out of everything that I see since June, this was the best play that anybody could have made, okay? Because we have a clear support line already here. If you guys took this play and bought within this zone, you would have made quite a bit of money actually. You guys would have made how much money here? Let's just take a look. Just as an example, you would have made about 20% of your money or so. But what we're going to evaluate is Ripple on a daily time frame right now. So let's take a look. Would you guys agree with me that these are some pretty clear supports and resistances that have established? Super clear support, right? Super clear support, super duper duper clear right there as well. Let's look at the MACD on the daily chart, right? The MACD is slowly finding support right here. It's absolutely slowly finding support and bearishly diverging. On the daily chart, it looks like it wants to bounce up a bit, right? We're getting to the positive histogram. Let's look at the 4-hour chart as well, right? It's near the absolute oversold area already. So what people are waiting for is probably a bounce to right over here to go long on it. But what I want to go over is the Elliot Wave count. So let's go to the 1-day chart and go over Elliot Wave. All right, so I'm going to go over this count with you guys, okay? For when it started to downtrend. So yes, you know, it started over here, but it started downtrending like this. 1, 2, 3, and this is basically 4, and then 5 is right down there. Okay, guys? This is basically a flat pattern that we can call it, all right? And this works perfectly fine. We can call 1 actually right here, where wave 4 doesn't really overlap, and then we have an ending diagonal right here, okay? we have an ending diagonal there where it basically makes the fifth wave just makes a 3-wave correction there, and that's how it comes down. And right here on the wave 2 up, we can see 5s. If we zoom in closer, this one just, in wave 2, it always does a counter trend correction of 3 waves like that. And here, if we zoomed in closer, I'm sure we'd be able to see it as well. And here it also made a 3-wave. And sometimes the A pattern, A coming down right there, this is all A, okay guys? This is all A right here. That is all A right there. And what I will do is just label A here for you guys. Okay, that is A right there. And this is basically B. It does a 3-wave, it gets a higher high. And we're gonna call this B. And then this is basically C right down over here, all right? B, and this is C, okay? And then what it tried to do was during the swell conference, tried to break out. And because it couldn't break out, now what we actually have is a point basically a W there, okay? Or this is W, and this is A right here, pretty much. And this is B, and we're probably gonna get another touch somewhere right down there, okay? What you guys notice about A and C right here, okay? That's really important to always make note of. What you notice about A and C is that C has a higher high than A, all right? Let me pull up a quick book to show you something. All right, so this is a normal A, B, C zigzag combination, all right? This is a normal A, B, C correction where the C leg is the same length as the A leg at a 1-to-1 ratio for Fibonacci. And then sometimes you also get basically a flat, where a flat is basically like a double bottom pretty much, okay? And then sometimes you also get another one, right? This comes down a little bit, tiny bit, and then sometimes you get something called a truncated C. What a truncated C is it means that it doesn't quite get to the point where A is, okay? This is from an Elliot Wave handbook. And what you guys notice here, right? It has the same type of angle, which is perfect, but the C just doesn't come down nearly as much, okay? So let's label these properly here. We have C right here, and we have W, okay? We know it's W now because this point is now X and it couldn't break out. And the beauty is that we actually formed a lot of resistance points, okay? These now form a resistance. Here, 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 pretty much here as well, right? This one couldn't peak it, of course. There was some major news there. I forgot what happened. So we have a pretty clear pattern that's emerging. Would you guys agree with me that this is now the zone? I always like to demarcate zones, right? I like to create a very clear-cut region that we are working in because this way we can play it. And then what do you guys notice about here as well, right? If I put this one there, what you guys notice is that, so first of all, from the highest point to C, right? Or from there to here, there's always an A, B, C pattern, okay guys? And now that we have X here, basically we're gonna have another A, B, C pattern. And that always happens. This is what they call, in this book here, they call this one a double Elliot Wave combo, okay? It's basically a double zigzag correction. And then we know that this is A down there. Now we know that this is basically B, okay? B might get higher, don't get me wrong. Like B might go a little bit higher first, and then we get another touch. But just from what I see right now, I see that as B, okay? Just a small B. And then I see this as a C, probably down here, and then it might actually end up breaking up there again. You guys know what I think is going to happen? I think that this is going to happen right here. I think we're going to get an attempt to break out, and then because it doesn't break out, I don't think it's going to break out yet, guys. That's my opinion. This one becomes another point X, and then with another point X, we're going to have another, basically another A, another touch, and then we're going to have another B, and then we're going to have another C, okay? That is what I think is going to happen, and it's very common. And what they call this, just look on the left here with me. On the left here, they call it an Elliot triple wave combo, which is very, very common in the markets when it gets to a squeeze point over here. So we actually have a long ways to go, guys. This is B, and this is going to be another C, and this one is actually going to be called Z at the end. So what we have now is a formation of A, B, C, but because from C it couldn't break out to start its actual wave 2, we call this one X, and that's where it starts a W wave here. So we have, oh sorry, I forgot to call this one Y as well. So we have Y that ends. This is the original A, B, C, and then W, X, Y combination, right? It just couldn't break out right yet. So this is most likely going to be the bottom right around here. I think it's going to hover here for a little bit, right? A's there, or sorry, B's there and here. So from X to Y, we always have an ABC correction. And I think it's going to try to break out here. It's going to form another X up there, and then it's going to go from X to Z, which now makes another ABC correction. And then from here, I do believe it is going to finally break out. You know, if it's not something like that, it could be something really close to here, like just as an example, right? You know, we might get something like that, where this is B right up there. It'll try something like that. And then finally, when it gets squeezed to this point in the next few months, just based on how the pattern looks, right? It looks like it's going to break out in pretty much 2018. It just looks like it's being squeezed really hard into this pattern right now. Would you guys agree with me? It's hard to disagree. I mean, I don't even know why I asked you guys if you agree. I mean, none of you guys ever speak up. I mean, I don't hear any of you guys saying, yeah, I agree, right? It's always like a tumbleweed that just rolls by whenever I talk to myself here, and I go into these really long soliloquies that no one even listens to, I'm sure. Yeah, I still can't hear anybody speaking. I'm just waiting for someone to be like, hey, I hear you, man, but not even a single person is speaking. Okay, guys. Excuse me there. So yeah, it's obviously having a lot of trouble breaking out of here, right? And there's not much else to analyze right now. What I would recommend doing is, you know, if it gets to another point down here and we're starting to see a lot of bullish momentum, or just a bullish support at least, okay? Here we're clearly downtrending right now. If we look on the 2-hour chart, it's actually at a pretty low point already. I can maybe see it making like a triple bounce down there, right? But anytime you guys get to a buy zone, you know, like around these lines there, they all become pretty good buy zones, right? You don't always need to buy at the absolute best price, as long as you're aware that these are indeed buy zones, okay? Like along this entire support area there. So what I'm hoping for it to do is I'm actually waiting for it to get to another point right off. I want to make sure it gets really close to the resistance, the support line. And what I will actually do is go into a long position, right? And it's going to be days. It's going to be like, let's see how long this will actually take here. Excuse me, I don't want that tool. Where's my tool there? The date range, just as an example, right? This is going to be like a 1 week hold about. I'm just guessing like a 1 week hold, maybe 8 days or so. We will set our stop loss for, you know, slightly below it there, and we'll target up there. Like this will be a phenomenal play to take. This one will have a risk to reward ratio 2.44 to 1. You have a chance to lose 11% of your money, but you also have a chance to gain 27%, right? So for those that don't know what risk to reward is, just think of it this way, and I always explain it very quickly, right? Let's say you're flipping a coin, for those that don't know, right? I'm just gonna do super fast, flip coin. Let's say you're flipping like $1, for example, just flipping a loonie or whatever. I'm Canadian. And for every time you flip a coin, if you're right, you have a chance to gain $1. But every time you lose, you have a chance to lose, say, 50 cents. So what's your risk to reward? Your risk to reward is equal to 1 to 0.5, which is also equal to 2 to 1, okay? So here we have a risk to reward ratio of 2.86, we'll say, which means that you have a chance to gain 2.76 more times than you actually lose. And remember that without the possibility of risk, okay? Sorry, without risk, there is no possibility of reward. So you always have to remember that there's no such thing as a guaranteed win every single time, and that there will be many, many losers as well, okay? So we have to take the chance every single time whenever we reach a support zone, like for example right here, because if you take the chance, it can be very profitable over time. And that's basically where we stand in Ripple. There's not a lot of news at all. And you know, definitely you want to take this chance here, because it's been such a strong support already that why would it break down, right? I mean, it's been tested many times here, 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 and here. I'm sure it'll poke out of it a little bit, right? There's always those weak hands in the market. The volume is slowly declining. It's obviously not going up anywhere. It looks like it's going to come right around to this region right there. So you guys can definitely do a big play. And then here, I'm probably going to guess it's not going to break out of it, like I mentioned. So I'm going to short it. I'm going to short it. And then I'm not going to play any of these. And then around 2018, what I will do is I will actually go long here, right? We definitely want to take this breakout. It's going to break out to the upside, as we've seen with other coins that are ahead. For example, with you know, Litecoin, just as an example, it's already broken out, right? Litecoin, OmiziGo, a lot of the coins that I trade have already broken out of that pattern, which is really good. OmiziGo broke out of it already just a few days ago. One of the only coins that didn't really do anything during the SegWit 2 news was Ripple. So we can see OmiziGo broke out of it already. Now it's just a matter of time, guys. It's just a matter of time until we also break out of this wedge pattern and go to the upside. I will bet my life on it that it's going to go up and it's not going to go down, guys. Like, I will honestly bet my life on it that it will 100% go up and not down on there. So the play, once again, is look for this buy zone right here. It's coming up in the next few days, in about a week, say November 17 or so. But you know, we might touch a little bit sooner, but just look for this huge support line there. Take a nice little chance and give it about a 1 week play. 1 week play could get you a 25% gain to your portfolio or to your account there, or your principal, however you look at it. So that is where we stand, guys. We got this wedge formation. Give it a little bit of time. It's going to break out. You guys have to exercise a little bit of patience, okay, guys? So that is where we stand. If you guys like this video, maybe you can follow me on YouTube. Maybe you can subscribe to me on Twitter. And I'm actually going to post this on Steemit as well from now on, okay? If you guys really want to support me, maybe you can also upvote it on there. And if you guys really love me and you love my dog, in the other videos where you hear her howl, I have her little piggy bank for her full of cryptocurrency. And you guys can also donate something to her there. It's just for emergency funds down the road. So have yourselves a great night. I won't be doing anything on Ripple for a while because, let's face it, there's nothing to do, right? Until it reaches this specific point, that is when I will update my tactical analysis again, because it is definitely not a coin that I day trade. There's just not enough volume or liquidity. So thank you very much for all the love and the support. Have yourselves a great day and take care.